Proceed, Silenus, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death end woes and all.
Merchant of Syracuse, plead no more. I am not partial to infringe our laws. The enmity and discord which has late sprung from the rancorous outrage of your duke to merchants, our well-dealing countrymen, who wanting guilders to redeem their lives, have sealed his rigorous statutes with their bloods, excludes all pity from our threatening looks. For since the mortal and intestine jars twixt thy seditious countrymen and us, it hath, in solemn synods, been decreed by both the Syracusians and ourselves to admit no traffic to our adverse towns. Nay, more. If any born at Ephesus be seen at any Syracusian fairs and marts, again, if any Syracusian born come to the bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the duke's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied to quit the penalty and to ransom him. Thy substance, valued at the highest rate, cannot amount unto 100 marks. Therefore, by law, thou art condemned to die.
Yet this my comfort, when your words are done, my woes end likewise with the evening sun.
Syracusian, say in brief the cause, why thou departest from thy native home, and for what cause thou camest to Ephesus.
A heavier task could not have been imposed than I to speak my griefs unspeakable. Yet that the world may witness that my end was wrought by nature, not by vile offense, I'll utter what my sorrows give me leave. In Syracuse was I born, and wed unto a woman happy but for me, and by me had not our hap been bad. With her I lived in joy. Our wealth increased by prosperous voyages I often made to Epidamnum, till my factor's death, and the great care of goods at random left drew me from kind embracements of my spouse, from whom my absence was not 6 months old, before herself, almost at fainting under the pleasing punishment that women bear, had made provision for her following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. There she had not been long, but she became a joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and which was strange, the one so like the other as could not be distinguished but by names. That very hour, and in the self same inn, a meaner woman was delivered of such a burden, male twins, both alike. Those, for their parents were exceeding poor, I bought and brought up to attend my sons. My wife, not meanly proud of 2 such boys, made daily motions for our home return. Unwilling, I agreed. Alas, too soon we came aboard. A league from Epidamnum had we sailed, before the always wind-obeying deep gave any tragic instance of our harm. But longer did we not retain much hope, for what obscured light the heavens did grant did but convey into our fearful minds a doubtful warrant of immediate death, which though myself would gladly have embraced, yet the incessant weepings of my wife, weeping before what she saw must come, and piteous plainings of the pretty babes that mourn for fashion, ignorant what to fear, forced me to seek delay for them and me. And this it was, for other means was none. The sailors sought for safety by our boat, and left the ship then sinking ripe to us. My wife, more careful for the latter born, had fastened him unto a small spare mast, such as seafaring men provide for storms. To him one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been like heedful for the other. The children thus disposed, my wife and I, fixing our eyes on whom our care was fixed, fastened ourselves at either end the mast, and floating straight, obedient to the stream, was carried towards Corinth, as we thought. At length the sun, gazing upon the earth, dispersed those vapors that offended us, and by the benefit of his wished light, the seas waxed calm, and we discovered 2 ships from far, making a main to us. But ere they came, oh, let me say no more. Gather the sequel by that went before.
Nay, forward, old man, do not break off so, for we may pity, though not pardon thee.
Oh, had the gods done so, I would not now have worthily termed them merciless to us. For ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, and being violently borne upon, our helpful ship was splitted in the midst, so that in this unjust divorce of us, fortune left to both of us alike what to delight in and what to sorrow for. Her part, poor soul, seeming as burdened with lesser weight, but not with lesser woe, was carried with more speed before the wind. And in our sight they 3 were taken up, by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length another ship had seized on us, and knowing whom it was their hap to save, gave healthful welcome to their shipwrecked guest, and would have reft the fishers of their prey, had not their bark been very slow of sail. And therefore homeward did they bend their course. Thus have you heard me severed from my bliss, and by misfortunes was my life prolonged, to tell sad stories of my own mishaps.
And for the sake of them thou sorrowest for, do me the favor to dilate it full, what hath befallen of them and thee till now.
My youngest boy, and yet my eldest care, at 18 years became inquisitive after his brother, and importuned me that his attendant, so his case was like, reft of his brother but retained his name, might bear him company in the quest of him, whom whilst I labored of a love to see, I hazarded the loss of whom I loved. 5 summers have I spent in furthest Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia, and coasting homeward, came to Ephesus, hopeless to find, yet loath to leave unsought, or that or any place that harbors men. But here must end the story of my life, and happy were I in my timely death, could all my travels warrant me they live.
Hapless Aegean, whom the fates have marked to bear the extremity of dire mishap. Now trust me, were it not against our laws, against my crown, against my dignity, my oath, which princes would they cannot disannul, my soul would sue as advocate for thee. But though thou art adjudged to the death, and past sentence cannot be recalled but to our honor's great disparagement, yet I'll favor thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I'll limit thee this day, to seek thy life by beneficial help. Try all the friends thou hast in Ephesus. Beg thou or borrow to make up the sum and live. If no, then thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him to thy custody.
Hopeless and helpless doth Aegean wind, but to procrastinate my lifeless end.
Or give out your epidanum, lest that your goods too soon be confiscated. This very day, a Syracusan merchant is apprehended for arrival here, and not being able to buy out his life, according to the statute of the town, dies. Ere the weary sun set in the west. There is your money that I had to keep.
Go. Bear it to the centaur where we host, and stay there, Dromio, till I come to thee. Within this hour it will be dinner time. Till that, I'll view the manners of the town, peruse the traders, gaze upon the buildings, and then return and sleep within mine inn. For with long travel am I stiff and weary. Get thee away.
Many a man would take you at your word, and go indeed, having so good a mien.
A trusty villain, sir, that very oft when I am dull with care and melancholy, lightens my humor with his merry jests. What, will you walk with me about the town, and then come to mine inn and dine with me?
I am invited, sir, to certain merchants, of whom I hope to make much benefit. I crave your pardon. Soon at 5 o'clock, please you. I'll meet with you upon the mart, and afterward consort you till bedtime. My present business calls me from you now.
Farewell till then. I will lose myself and wander up and down to view the city.
Sir, I commend you to your own content.
He that commends me to mine own content commends me to the thing I cannot get. I to the world am like a drop of water that in the ocean seeks another drop, who falling there to find his fellow forth, unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I, to find a mother and a brother, in quest of them unhappy lose myself. Here comes the almanac of my true date. What now? How chanced thou return so soon?
Return so soon? Brother, approach it too late. The capon burns, the pig falls from the spit, the clock hath struck in 12 upon the bell, my mistress made it 1 upon my cheek. She is so hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you come not home. You come not home because you have no stomach. You have no stomach, having broken your fast. But we that know what 'tis to fast and pray are penitent for your default today.
Stop in your wind, sir, and tell me this, I pray. Where have you left the money that I gave you?
Oh, 6 that I had on Wednesday last to pay the saddler for my mistress Crupper. The saddler had it, sir. I kept it not.
I am not in a sport of humor now. Tell me and dally not, where's the money? We being strangers here, how darest thou trust so great a charge from thine own custody?
I pray you ere as you sit at dinner. I from my mistress come to you in post. If I return, I shall be post indeed, for she will score your fault upon my pate. Methinks your ma, like mine, should be your clerk, and strike you home without a messenger.
Come, Dromio, come. These jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. Where is the gold I gave in charge to thee?
To me, sir? Why, you gave no gold to me.
Have done your foolishness, sir knave, and tell me how thou hast disposed thy charge.
My charge was but to fetch you home from the mart, home to your house, the Phoenix, sir, to dinner. My mistress and her sister stays for you.
In what safe place have you bestowed my money, or I shall break that merry sconce of yours that stands on tricks when I am undisposed? Where's the 1,000 marks thou hadst of me?
I have some of your marks upon my pate, some of my mistress' marks upon my shoulders, but not 1,000 marks between you both. If I should pay your worship those again, perchance you will not bear them patiently.
Thy mistress's marks? What mistress, slave, hast thou?
Your worship's wife, my mistress at the Phoenix, sir, that she that doth fast till you come home to dinner, and prays you will hie you home to dinner.
What, will you flout me thus unto my face, being forbid? There. Oh, take you that,
Let me do, sir, for God's sake. Oh, hold it. Nay. And you will not. I'll take my heels.
Upon my life, by some device or other, the villain is overwrought of all my money. They say this town is full of cozenage, as nimble jugglers that deceive the eye, dark-working sorcerers that change the mind, soul-killing witches that deform the body, disguised cheaters, prating mountebanks, and many such like liberties of sin. If it proves so, I'll be gone the sooner. I'll to the centaur to go seek this slave. I greatly fear my money is not safe.
Neither my husband nor the slave returned, that in such haste I sent to seek his master. Sure, Luciana, it is 2 o'clock.
Perhaps some merchant hath invited him, and from the mart he's somewhere gone to dinner. Good sister, let us dine and never fret. A man is master of his liberty. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll go or come. If so, be patient, sister.
Why should their liberty than ours be more?
Because their business still lies out a door.
Look, when I serve him so, he takes it ill.
Oh no, he is the bridle of your will.
There's none but asses will be bridled so.
Why, headstrong liberty is lashed with woe. There's nothing situate under heaven's eye but hath his bounds in earth, in sea, in sky. The beasts, the fishes, and the winged fowls are their male subjects, and at their controls. Men, more divine, the masters of all these, lords of the wide world and wild watery seas, endued with intellectual sense and souls of more preeminence than fish and fowls, are masters to their females and their lords. Then let your will attend on their accords.
This servitude makes you to keep unwed.
Not this, but troubles of the marriage bed.
But were you wedded, you would bear some sway.
Ere I learn love, I'll practice to obey.
How, if your husband starts some other where?
Till he come home again, I would forbear.
Patience unmoved. No marvel though she pause. They can be meek that have no other cause. A wretched soul bruised with adversity, we bid be quiet when we hear it cry. But were we burdened with like weight of pain, as much or more would we ourselves complain. So thou, that hast no unkind mate to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience wouldst relieve me. But if thou see like right bereft, this full-begged patience in thee will be left.
Well, I will marry one day, but to try. Oh, here comes your man. Now's your husband nigh.
Say, is your tardy master now at hand?
Nay, he's at 2 hands with me, and that my 2 ears can witness.
Say, didst thou speak with him? Knowest thou his mind?
Aye, he told his mind upon my ear, but through his hand I scarce could understand it.
Spake he so doubtfully thou couldst not feel his meaning?
Nay, he struck so plainly I could all too well feel his blows, and withal so doubtfully I could scarce understand them.
But say, I prithee, is he coming home? It seems he hath great care to please his wife.
Why, mistress, my master sure is, horn mad.
Horn mad, thou villain!
I mean, not cuckold mad, but, he sure is stark mad. When I desired him to come home to dinner, he asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. "'Tis dinner time,' quoth I. 'My gold,' quoth he. 'Your meat doth burn,' quoth I. 'My gold,' quoth he. 'Will you come home?' quoth I. 'My gold,' quoth he. 'Where is the 1,000 marks I gave thee, villain?' 'The pig,' quoth I, 'is burned.' 'My gold,' quoth he. 'Your mistress, sir,' quoth I. 'Hang up thy mistress, I know not thy mistress. Out on thy mistress.'
Quoth who?
Quoth my master. 'I know,' quoth he. 'No house, no wife, no mistress.' So that my errand due unto my tongue, I thank him, bear home upon my shoulders, for in conclusion he did beat me there.
Go back again, thou slave, and bring him home.
Go back again, and be new beaten home? For God's sake, send some other messenger.
Back, slave, or I will break thy pate across.
And he will bless that cross with other beating. Between you, I shall have a holy head.
Hence, prating peasant, fetch thy master home.
Am I so round with you as you with me, that like a football you do spurn me thus? You spurn me hence, he spurns me hither. If I last in this service, you must case me in leather.
Fie, how impatience lurreth in your face.
His company must do his minions grace, whilst I at home starve for a merry look. Hath homely age the alluring beauty took from my poor cheek? Then he hath wasted it. Are my discourses dull, barren my wit? If voluble and sharp discourse be marred, unkindness blunts it more than marble hard. Do their gay vestments his affections bait? That's not my fault, he's master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be found by him not ruined? Then is he the ground of my defeaches. My decayed fare a sunny look of his would soon repair. But to unruly deer, he breaks the pail and feeds from home. Poor am I but as stale.
Self-harm and jealousy. Fie, beat it hence.
Unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. I know his eye doth homage otherwhere, or else what lets it be that he would be here? Sister, you know he promised me a chain. Would that alone he would detain, so he would keep far quarter with his bed. I see the jewel best enameled will lose its beauty, yet the gold bides still that others touch, and often touching will wear gold. And no man that hath a name by falsehood or corruption doth it shame. Since that my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left away. And weeping, die.
How many fond fools serve mad jealousy?
Shy. Something came along, caught my eye when I heard the jazz band strike up.
The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up safe at the Centaur, and the heedful slave has wandered forth in care to seek me out by computation in mine host's report. I could not speak with Dromio since at first I sent him from the mart. See, here he comes. How now, sir? Is your merry humor altered? As you love strokes, so jest with me again. You know no Centaur? You received no gold. Your mistress sent to have me home to dinner. My house was at the Phoenix. Wast thou mad that thus so madly thou didst answer me?
What answer, master? When spake I such a word?
Even now, even here, not half an hour since.
I did not see you since you sent me hence, home to the Centaur, with the gold you gave me.
Villain! Thou didst deny the gold's receipt and toldest me of a mistress and a dinner, for which I hope thou feltest I was displeased.
I am glad to see you in this merry humor. What means this jest, master? I pray you, sir, tell me.
Will thou jeer and flout me in the teeth? Thinkest thou I jest? Hold, take thou that and that and...
Hold, sir, for God's sake! Now your jest is earnest. Upon what bargain do you give it me?
Because that I sometimes familiarly use you for my fool and chat with you, your sauciness will jest upon my love and make a common of my serious hours. When the sun shines, let foolish gnats make sport, but creep in crannies when he hides his beams. If you will jest with me, know my aspect, and fashion your demeanor to my looks, or I will beat this method in your sconce.
Sconce call you it, so you would leave battering. I'd rather have it ahead, and you use these blows long. I should get a sconce from my head, and ensconce it too, or else I shall seek my wit in my shoulders. But I pray, sir, why am I beaten?
Dost thou not know?
Nothing but that I am beaten.
Shall I tell you why?
Aye, and wherefore? For they say every why hath a wherefore.
Why first, for flouting me, and then wherefore, for urging it the second time to me.
Was there ever any man thus beaten out of season, when in the why and the wherefore is neither rhyme nor reason? Well, sir, I thank you.
Thank me, sir, for what?
For this something you gave me for nothing.
I'll make you amends next, to give you nothing for something. But, say, sir, is it dinner time?
No, sir, I think the meat wants that I have.
Oh, in good time, sir, what's that?
Basting.
Well, sir, then it will be dry.
If it be, sir, I pray you, eat none of it,
Your reason?
lest it make you choleric and purchase me a dry basting.
Well, sir, learn to jest in good time. There's a time for all things.
I durst have denied that before you were so choleric.
By what rule, sir?
Marry, sir, by a rule as plain as the plain bald pate of Father Time himself.
Let's hear it.
There's no time for a man to recover his hair that grows bald by nature.
May he not do it by fine and recovery?
Yes, to pay a fine for a periwig and recover the lost hair of another man.
Why is time such a niggard of hair, being as it is so plentiful an excrement?
Because it is a blessing he bestows upon beast, and what he hath scanted man in hair, he hath given him in wit.
Why, but there's many a man that hath more hair than wit.
Not a one of those, but he hath the wit to lose his hair.
What? Thou didst conclude hairy men plain dealers without wit.
The plainer dealer the sooner lost, yet he loseth it in a kind of jollity.
For what reason?
For two and sound ones.
Nay, not sound, I pray you.
Sure ones, then.
Nay, not sure in a thing falsing.
Certain ones, then.
Name them.
The one, to save the money he spends in trimming. The other at dinner, so that at dinner they should not drop in his porridge.
You would all this time have proved that there is no time for all things.
Marry, sir, and did. Namely, no time to recover hair that grows bald by nature.
But your reason was not substantial why there is no time to recover.
Thus I mend it. Time himself is bald, and to the world's end will have bald followers.
I knew it would be a bald conclusion. But soft, who wafts us yonder?
Aye, Antipholus. Look strange and frown. Some other mistress hath thy sweet aspects. I am not Adriana, nor thy wife. The time was once when thou wouldst unurged vow, that never words were music in thine ear, that never object pleasing in thine eye, that never touch well welcome to thy hand, that never meat sweet savored in thy taste, unless I spake, or looked, or touched, or carved to thee? How comes it now, my husband, oh, how comes it that thou art thus estranged from thyself? Thyself, I call it, being strange to me, that indivisible, incorporate, and better than thy dear self sped apart. Ha ha! Do not tear thyself away from me. For know, my love, as easy mayest thou fall a drop of water in the breaking gulf, and take unmingled that same drop again without addition or diminishing, as to take from me thyself, and not me too. How dearly it would touch me to the quick, shouldst thou but hear I will licentious, and that this body, consecrate to thee by ruffian lust, should be contaminate. Wouldst thou not spit at me, and spurn at me, and hurl the name of husband in my face, and tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and from my false hand cut the wedding ring, and break it with a deep divorcing vow? I know thou canst, therefore see thou do it. I am possessed with an adulterate blood. My blood is mingled with the crime of lust. For if we two be one, and thou play false, I do digest the poison of thy flesh, being strumpeted by thy contagion. Keep then, for I'll league and truce with thy true bed. I live unstained, thou undishonored.
Plead you to me, fair dame. I know you not. In Ephesus I am but 2 hours old, as strange unto your town as to your talk, who every word by all my wit being scanned, one wit and all one word to understand.
Fie, brother, how the world has changed with you. What will you want to use my sister thus? She sent for you by Dromio home to dinner.
By Dromio?
By me.
By thee. And this thou didst return from him, that he did buffet thee, and in his blows denied my house for his, me for his wife?
Did you converse her with this gentlewoman? What is the course and drift of your compact?
I, sir? I never saw her till this time.
Villain, thou liest! For even her very words didst thou deliver to me on the mart.
I never spake with her in all my life.
How can she thus then call us by our names? Unless it be by inspiration.
How ill agrees it with your gravity to counterfeit thus grossly with your slave, abetting him to thwart me in my mood? Be it my wrong, you are from me exempt, but wrong not that wrong with a more contempt. Come, I will fasten on this sleeve of thine. Thou art an elm, my husband, I a vine, whose weakness, married to thy strong estate, makes me with strength to communicate. If aught possess thee from me, it is dross, usurping ivy, briar, or idle moss, who, all for want of pruning, infect thy sap and live on thy confusion.
To me she speaks. She moves me for her theme. What, was I married to her in my dream? Or sleep I now and think I hear all this? Ow! What error drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure uncertainty, I'll entertain the offered fallacy.
Dromio, go bid the servants spread for dinner.
Oh, for my beads, I cross me for a sinner! This is the fairyland. Oh, spite of spites. We talk with owls, goblins, and sprites. If we obey them not, this will ensue. They'll suck out our breath, or pinch us black and blue.
Why pratest thou to thyself and answerest not, Dromio? Thou drone, thou snail, thou slug, thou suck.
I am transformed, master, am I not?
I think thou art in mind, and so am I.
Nay, both in mind and in my shape.
Thou hast thine own form.
No, I am an ape.
If thou art changed to aught, 'tis to an ass.
'Tis true. She rides me, and I long for grass. 'Tis so, I must be an ass, or else it could never be. But I should know her as well as she knows me.
Come, come. No longer will I be the fool to put the finger in the eye and weep whilst man and master laugh my woes to scorn. Come, sir, to dinner. Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I'll dine above with thee today and shrive you of 1,000 idle pranks. Sirrah, if any ask for your master, say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. Come, sister. Dromio, play the porter well.
Am I in earth, in heaven, or in hell? Sleeping or waking, mad or well advised? Known unto these, and to myself disguised. I'll say as they say, and persever so. And in this mist, at all adventures go.
Master, shall I be porter at the gate?
Aye, and let none enter, lest I break your pate.
Come, come, Antipholus, we dine too late.
Good Signor Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife is shrewish when I keep not hours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop to see the making of her carcanet, and that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain. Would face me down, he met me on the mart, and that I beat him, and charged him with 1,000 marks in gold, and that I did deny my wife and house. Thou drunkard thou, what didst thou mean by this?
Say what you will, sir, but I know what I know. That you beat me at the mart, I have your hand to show. If the skin were parchment and the blows you gave were ink, your own handwriting would tell you what I think.
I think thou art an ass.
Marry, so it doth appear, by the wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear, I should kick being kicked, and being at that pass, he would keep from my heels and beware of an ass.
You're sad, Signor Balthazar. Pray God our cheer may answer my good will and your good welcome here.
I hold your dainties cheap, sir, and you're welcome, dear.
Oh, Signor Balthazar, either at flesh or fish, a table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish.
Good meat, sir, is common. That every churl affords.
And welcome more common. for that's nothing but words.
Small cheer and great fortune make a merry feast.
I to a niggardly host and more sparing guest. But though my cates be mean, take them in good part. Better cheer may you have, but not with better heart. But soft, my door is locked. Go, bid them let us in.
Maud! Bridget! Marion! Jillian! Cecil! Gin!
Mome, Malthorse, Capon, Coxcomb, Idiot, Patch.
What?
Either get thee from the door or sit down at the hatch. Dost thou conjure for wenches that thou callest for such store? When one is one too many, go get thee from the door.
What patches made our porter? My master stays in the street.
Let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch cold on his feet.
Who talks within there? Ho, open the door.
Right, I'll tell you when, and you tell me wherefore.
Wherefore? For my dinner, I have not dined today.
Nor today, here you must not. Come again when you may.
What art thou that keeps me out from the house I owe?
The porter for this time, sir, and my name is Dromio.
Oh, villain. That had stolen both mine office and my name. The one near got me credit, the other mickle blame. If thou had been Dromio today in thy place, thou wouldst have changed thy face for a name, or thy name for an ass.
What a quarrel is your Dromio? Who are those at the gate?
Let my master in, loose!
Faith, now he comes too late, and so tell your master.
Oh, Lord, I must laugh. Have at you with a proverb, shall I set my staff?
Have at you with another, that's when, can you tell?
If thy name be called Luce, then Luce thou hast answered him well.
Do you hear, you minion? You'll let us in, I hope?
I thought to have asked you.
And you said no.
Oh, come help. There was well struck. There was blow for blow.
Thou baggage, let me in.
Can you tell for whose sake?
Master, knock the door hard.
Let him knock till it ache.
You'll cry for this minion if I beat the door down.
What needs all that and a pair of stocks in the town? Who is that at the door that keeps all this noise?
By my troth, your town is troubled by unruly boys.
Are you there, wife? You might have come before.
Your wife, Sir Knave. Go. Get you from the door.
Master, if you went in pain, this knave would go sore.
Here is neither cheer, sir, nor welcome. We would fain have eaten.
In debating which was best, we will depart with neither.
Master, they stand at the door. Bid them welcome hither.
There is something in the wind that we cannot get in.
You would say so, master, if your garments were thin. Your cake there is warm within. You stand here in the cold. It would make a man mad as a buck to be so bought and sold.
Well, go fetch me something. I'll break open the gate.
Break any breaking here, and I'll break your knave's pate.
Ah, a man may break a word with you, sir. Aye, and words are but wind. Aye, and break it in your face, so we break it not behind.
It seems thou wantest breaking out upon thee hind.
Here's too much out upon thee, I pray thee, let me in.
Aye, when fowl have no feathers and fish have no fin.
Well, I'll break in. Go, borrow me a crow.
A crow without feather? Master, mean you so? For a fish without fin, there's a fowl without feather. If a crow let us in, sirrah, we'll pluck a crow together.
Go, get thee gone, fetch me an iron crow.
Oh, have patience, sir. Oh, let it not be so. Oh, herein you war against your reputation and draw within the compass of suspect the unviolated honor of your wife. Once this, your long experience of her wisdom, sober virtue, years in modesty, plead on her part some cause to you unknown. And doubt not, sir, she will well excuse why at this time the doors are made against you. Be ruled by me. Depart in patience. And let us to the Tiger all to dinner. And about evening, come yourself alone to know the reason for this strange restraint. For if by heavy hand you should offer to break in, now, in the stirring passage of the day, a vulgar comment will be made of it, and that supposed by the common rout against your yet ungalled estimation will enter in and dwell upon your grave when you are dead. For slander lives upon succession, forever housed where it gets possession.
You have prevailed. I will depart in quiet, and, in despite of mirth, mean to be merry. I know a wench of excellent discourse, pretty and witty, wild, and yet too gentle. There shall we dine. This woman that I mean, my wife, but I protest without desert, hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. To her will we to dinner. Get you gone, and fetch the chain. By this I know 'tis made. Bring it, I pray you, to the Porpentine, for there's the house. That chain will I bestow, be it for nothing but to spite my wife upon mine hostess there. Since mine own doors refuse to entertain me, I'll knock elsewhere to see if they'll disdain me.
I'll meet you at that place some hour hence.
Do so. This jest shall cost me some expense.
May it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office? Shall Antipholus, even in the spring of love, thy love springs rot? Shall love in building grow so ruinous? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake, use her with more kindness. Or if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle thy false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. Be not thy tongue thy own shame's order. Look sweet, be fair, become disloyalty. Apparel vice like virtue's harbinger. Bear a fair presence, though your heart be tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. Be secret false. What need she be acquainted? What simple thief brags of his own attaint? 'Tis double wrong to truant with your bed, and let her read it at thy looks at board. Shame hath a bastard fame, well managed. Ill deeds are doubled with an evil word. Alas, poor women, make us but believe, being compact of credit, that you love us, though others have the arm. Show us the sleeve. We in your motion turn, and you may move us. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife.
Sweet mistress, what your name is else I know not, nor by what wonder you do hit of mine. Less in your knowledge and your grace you show not than our earth's wonder, more than earth divine. Teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak. Lay open to my earthly gross conceit, smothered in errors, feeble, shallow, weak, the folded meaning of your words' deceit. Against my soul's pure truth, why labor you to make it wander in an unknown field? Are you a god? Would you create me new? Transform me then, and to your power I'll yield. But if that I am I, then well I know your weeping sister is no wife of mine, nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more to you do I decline. Train me not, sweet mermaid, with thy note, to drown in thy sister's flood of tears.
Sing, siren, for thyself, and I will dote. Spread o'er the silver waves thy golden hairs, and as a bed I'll take them and there lie, and in that glorious supposition think, he gains by death that hath such means to die. Let love, being light, be drowned if she sink.
What, are you mad that you do reason so?
Not mad, but mated, how I do not know.
It is a fault that springeth from your eye.
For gazing on your beams, fair sun being by.
Gaze where you should, and that will clear your sight.
As good to wink, sweet love, as look on night.
Why call you me love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister.
That's my sister.
No, it is thyself. Mine own self's better part. Mine eye's clear eye. My dear heart's dear heart. My food, my fortune, and my sweet hope's aim. My soul earth's heaven, and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister, sweet, for I am thee. Thee will I love, and with thee lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor I no wife. Give me thy hand.
Oh, soft, I hold you still. I'll fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
How now, Dromio? Where runnest thou so fast?
Do you know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself.
I am an ass. I am a woman's man and beside myself.
What woman's man, and how besides thyself?
Marry, sir, beside myself. I'm due to a woman, one that claims me, one that haunts me, one that will have me.
What claim lays she to thee?
Marry, sir, such claim as you lay to your horse, and she would have me as a beast. Not that I, being a beast, she would have me, but she, being a very beastly creature, lays claim to me.
What is she?
A very reverent body, sir. Aye, such a one that man may not speak of without he say, Sir Reverence. I have but lean luck in the match, and yet is she a wondrous fat marriage.
How does thou mean a fat marriage?
Marry, sir, she's the kitchen wench, and all grease. And I know not what use to put her to, but to make a lamp of her and run from her by her own light. I warrant the rags and the tallows in them will burn a pole in winter. If she lives till doomsday, she'll burn a week longer than the whole world.
What complexion is she of?
Swart, like my shoe, but her face nothing half so clean kept. For why, she sweats. A man may go over shoes in the grime of it.
That's a fault that water will mend.
No, sir, 'tis in grain. Noah's flood could not do it.
What is her name?
Nell, sir, but her name and 3/4, that's an L and 3/4, could not measure her from hip to hip.
Then she bears some breadth.
No longer from head to foot, than from hip to hip. She's spherical, like a globe. I can find out countries in her.
In what part of her body stands Ireland?
Mary in the buttocks. I found it out by the bogs.
Where Scotland?
I found it in the bareness, hard in the palm of the hand.
Where France?
On her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her heir.
Where England?
I looked for the chalky cliffs, but found no whiteness in them. But I think it stood in her chin, by the salt room that ran between France and it.
Where Spain?
Faith, I saw it not, but felt it hot on her breath.
Where America? The Indies?
Oh, sir, upon her nose, all ore embellished with rubies, carbuncles, and sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent whole armados of carracks to be ballast at her nose.
Where stood Belgium in the Netherlands?
Oh, sir, I did not look so low. To conclude, this drudge or diviner laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, told me what privy marks I had about me, as the mark on my shoulder, the mole on my neck, the great wart on my left arm, that I, amazed, ran from her as a witch. And I think if my breast had not been made of faith and my heart of steel, She had transformed me to a curled dog and made me turn in the wheel. Boo! Gah!
Go, hie thee presently post to the road. If the wind blow any way from shore, I'll not harbor in this town tonight. If any bark put forth, come to the mark where I will walk till thou return to me. If everyone knows us and we know none, 'tis time, I think, to trudge, pack, and be gone.
As from a bear a man would run for his life, so fly I from her that would be my wife.
There's none but witches do inhabit here, and therefore 'tis high time I think I were gone. She that doth call me husband, even my soul doth for a wife abhor. But her fair sister, possessed with such a gentle sovereign grace, such enchanting presence and discourse, hath almost made me traitor to myself. But lest myself be guilty to self-wrong, I'll stop mine ears against the mermaid's song.
Master Antipholus.
Aye, that's my name.
I remember, sir, and I know it well. Lo, here is the chain. I thought to have taken you at the porpentine. The chain unfinished made me stay thus long.
Well, what is your will that I shall do with this?
What please yourself, sir. I have made it for you.
Made it for me, sir. I bespoke it not.
Not once, nor twice, but 20 times you have. Go home with it and please your wife withal. And soon, at supper time, I'll visit you and then receive my money for the chain.
I pray you, sir, receive the money now, for fear you ne'er see the chain nor money more.
You are a merry man, sir. Fare you well.
What I should think of this, I cannot tell. But this I think, there's no man so vain who would refuse so fair an offer chain. I see a man here need not live by shifts, when on the street he meets with such golden gifts. I'll to the mart, and there for Dromio stay. If any ship puts forth, then straight away.
You know since Pentecost the sum is due, and since I've not much importuned you, nor now I had not, but that I am bound for Persia and want guilders for my voyage. Therefore, make present satisfaction, or I will attach you by this officer.
Even just the sum that I do owe to you is growing to me by Antipholus. And in the instant that I met with you, he had of me a chain. At 5 o'clock, I shall receive the money for the same. Please, if you walk with me down to his house, I will discharge my bond and thank you too. That labor may you save. Look where he comes.
While I go to the goldsmith's house, go thou and buy a rope's end. That will I bestow among my wife and her confederates for locking me out of my doors by day. But soft, I see the goldsmith. Get thee gone, buy thou a rope, and bring it home to me.
I buy £1,000 a year. I buy a rope.
A man is well hope up that trusts to you. I promised your presence in the chain, but neither chain nor goldsmith came to me. Belike you thought our love would last too long if it were chained together, and therefore came not.
Saving your merry humor. Here's the note. How much your chain weighs to the utmost carat, the fineness of the gold, and charge for fashion, which doth amount to 3 odd ducats, more than I stand indebted to this gentleman. I pray you, see him presently discharged, for he is bound to sea, and stays but for it.
I am not furnished with the present money. Besides, I have some business in the town. Good signor, take the stranger to my house, and with you take the chain, and bid my wife disperse the sum on the receipt thereof. Perchance I shall be there as soon as you.
Then you will bring the chain to her yourself.
No, bear it with you, lest I come not time enough.
Well, sir, I will. Have you the chain about you?
And if I have not, sir, I hope you have, or else you may return without your money.
Nay, come, I pray you, sir. Give me the chain. Both wind and tide stays for this gentleman, and I, to blame, have held him here too long.
Good Lord, you use this dalliance to excuse your breach of promise to the porpentine. I should have chid you for not bringing it, but like a shrew you first begin to brawl.
The hour steals on. I pray you, sir, dispatch.
You hear how he importunes me? The chain!
Why, give it to my wife and fetch your money.
Come, you know I gave it you even now. Either send the chain or send me by some token.
Fine, now you run this humor out of breath. Where's the chain? I pray you let me see it.
My business cannot brook this dalliance. Good sir, say whether you'll answer me or no, otherwise I will leave him to this officer.
I answer you? What should I answer you?
The money you owe me for the chain.
I owe you none till I receive the chain.
You know I gave it you half an hour since.
You gave me none, you wrong me much to say so.
You wrong me more, sir, in denying it. Consider how it stands upon my credit.
Well, officer, arrest him at my suit.
I do, and charge you in the Duke's name to obey me.
This touches me in reputation. Either consent to pay this sum for me, or I attach you by this officer.
Consent to pay thee that I never had? Arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest.
Here is thy fee. Arrest him, officer! I would not spare my brother in this case, if he should scorn me so apparently.
I do. Sir, you hear the suit?
I do obey thee till I give thee bail. But, sirrah, you shall buy this sport as dear as all the metal in your shop will answer.
Sir, I will have law in Ephesus. To your notorious shame, I doubt it not.
Master!
There's a bark of epidamnum that stays but till their owner comes aboard. And then, sir, she bears away. Our fraughtage, sir, I have conveyed aboard, and I have brought the oil, the balsamum, and the aquavitae. The ship is in her trim. The merry wind blows fair from land. They stay for not at all, but their owner, master, and yourself.
How now, a madman? Why, thou peevish sheep, what ship of epidamnum stays for me?
A ship you sent me to hire waftage.
Thou drunken slave, I sent thee for a rope, and told thee to what purpose and what end.
You sent me for a rope's end as soon as you sent me to the bay for a bark.
I will debate this matter at more leisure, and teach your ears to list me with more heed. To Adriana, villain, hie thee straight. Give her this key. Tell her, in the desk that's covered o'er with Turkish tapestry, there is a purse of ducats. Let her send it. Tell her I am arrested in the street, and that shall bail me. Hie thee, slave, be gone! On, officer, to prison till it come.
To Adriana? That is where we dined. Where Dowsabel did claim me for her husband. She is too big, I hope, for me to compass. Thither I must, although against my will, for servants must their masters' minds fulfill.
Luciana, did he tempt thee so? Mightest thou perceive our steely in his eyes that he did plead in earnest? Yea, or no? Looked he or red, or pale, or sad, or merrily? What observation madest thou in this case of his heart's meteors tilting in his face?
First, he denied you had in him no right.
He meant he did me none, the more my spite.
Well, then swore he that he was a stranger here.
And true he swore, yet forsworn he were.
Then pleaded I for you.
What said he?
The love I begged for you, he begged of me.
With what persuasion did he tempt thy love?
With words that in an honest suit might move. First he did praise my beauty, and then my speech.
Did speak him fair?
Have patience, I beseech.
I cannot, nor I will not hold me still. My tongue, though not my heart, shall have his will. He is deformed, crooked, old and sere, ill-faced, worse-bodied, shapeless everywhere. Vicious, ungentle, foolish, blunt, unkind, stigmatical in making, worse in mind.
Who would be jealous then of such a one? No evil lost is wailed when it is gone.
Ah, but I think him better than I say, and yet would herein others' eyes were worse. Far from her nest the lapwing cries away. My heart pleads for him, though my tongue do curse.
Here. Go. The desk. The purse. Sweet, now make haste.
How hast thou lost thy breath?
By running fast?
Where is thy master, Dromio? Is he well?
No. He's in charter limbo, worse than hell. A devil in an everlasting garment hath him. One whose hard heart is buttoned up with steel. A fiend. A fury. Pitiless and rough. A wolf. Nay, worse. A fellow all in buff. Back friend. A shoulder clapper. One who countermands the passages of alleys, creeks, and narrow lands. A hound that runs counter, yet draws dry foot well. One that before the judgment carries poor souls to hell.
Why, man? What is the matter?
I know not the matter. He's arrested on the case.
What? Is he arrested? Tell me at whose suit.
I know not at whose suit. He's arrested well. But he's in a suit of buff which rested him. That I can tell. Will you send him, mistress, redemption, the money in the desk?
Go, fetch it, sister. And this I wonder at, that he, unknown to me, should be in debt. Tell me, was he arrested on a band?
Not on a band, but on a much stronger thing, a chain. A chain. Do you not hear it ring?
What? The chain?
No, the bell. 'Tis time I were gone. It was 2 ere I left him. Now the clock strikes 1.
And the hours come back. That did I never hear.
Oh, yes. If any hour meet a sergeant, he turns back for very fear.
As if time were in debt. How fondly thou dost reason.
Time is a very bankrupt and knows more than he's worth to season. Nay, he's a thief too. Have you not heard men say that time goes stealing on by night and day? If time be in debt and theft, and a sergeant in the way, hath he not a reason to turn back an hour and a day?
Go, Dromio, there's the money, bear it straight. And bring thy master home immediately. Come, sister, I am pressed down with conceit. Conceit my comfort and my injury.
How are you, sir?
Well,
Hey, how you doing? There you go. Just
there's not a man I meet but doth salute me as if I were their well-acquainted friend. And everyone doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me. Some offer me thanks for kindnesses. Some offer me commodities to buy. Even now a tailor called me in his shop and showed me silks that he had bought for me, and therewithal took measure of my body. Sure, these are but imaginary wiles, and Lapland sorcerers inhabit here.
Master, here's the gold you sent me for. What, have you got the picture of old Adam, new apparel?
What gold is this? What Adam dost thou mean?
Not the Adam that kept the paradise, but the Adam that keeps the prison. He that come behind you, sir, like an evil angel, and bid you forsake your liberty.
I understand thee not.
No? What, 'tis a plain case? The man, sir, that when gentlemen are tired, gives them sob and rests them. He, sir, that takes pity on decayed man and offers them suits of durance. He that sets up his rest to do more exploits with his mace than a Morris pike.
What, thou meanest an officer?
I, sir, the sergeant of the band. He that brings any man to answer it that breaks his band. The one who always thinks the man going to sleep and says, God give you good rest.
Well, sir, there rest in your foolery. Is there any ship puts forth tonight? May we be gone?
Why, sir, I sent you word an hour since that the bark expedition put forth tonight. And then were you hindered by the sergeant to tarry for the whole hoy delay? Here are the angels you sent for to deliver you.
The fellow is distract, and so am I. And here we wander in illusions. Some blessed power deliver us from hence.
Well met, Master Antipholus. I see, sir, that you have found the goldsmith now. Is that the chain you promised me today?
Satan avoid! I charge thee, tempt me not!
Master! Is this Mr. Satan?
It is the devil.
Nay, she is worse. She's the devil's dam. And here she comes in the habit of a light wench. And thereof comes that the wenches say, God damn me! That's as much as say, God make me a light wench. It is written, they appear to men like angels of light. Light is an effect of fire. Fire will burn. Ergo, light wenches will burn. Come not near her.
Young man, and you are marvelous married. Will you go with us? We'll mend our dinner here.
Master, if you do, expect spoon me, or bespeak a long spoon.
Why, Dromio?
He must have a long spoon that must eat with the devil.
Avoid then, fiend! What tellest thou me of supping? Thou art, as you are all, a sorceress. I conjure thee to leave me and be gone.
Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner, or for my diamond, the chain you promised, and I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
Some devils ask but the paring of one's nail, a rush, a hair, a drop of blood, a pin, a nut, a cherry stone. But she, more covetous, would have a chain. Master, be wise, and if you give it her, the devil will shake her chain and fright us with it.
I pray you, sir, my ring or else the chain. I hope you do not mean to cheat me so.
Avaunt, thou witch! Come, Dromio, let us go.
Fly pride, says the peacock, mistress that you know.
Now, out of doubt, Antipholus is mad, else he would never so demean himself. A ring he hath of mine worth 40 ducats, and for the same he promised me a chain. Both one and other he denies me now. The reason that I gather he is mad. Besides this present instance of his rage is a mad tale he told at their dinner of his
For 40 ducats, it's too much to lose.
Fear me not, man, I will not break away. I'll give thee ere I leave thee so much money to warrant thee as I am rested for. My wife is in a wayward mood today and will not lightly trust the messenger, that I should be attached in Ephesus. I tell you 'twill sound harshly in her ears. Here comes my man. I think he brings the money. How now, sir? Have you that I sent you for?
Here's that, I warrant you, we'll pay them all.
But where's the money?
I gave the money for the rope.
500 ducats, villain, for a rope?
I'll serve you, sir. 500 at that rate.
To what end did I bid thee hie thee home?
To a rope's end, sir. And to that end am I returned.
And to that end, sir, I will welcome you.
Good, sir, be patient.
No, it is for me to be patient. I am in adversity.
Good. Now, hold thy tongue.
Nay, rather persuade him to hold his hands.
Thou horse and senseless villain!
I was senseless that I might not feel your blows.
Thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so is an ass.
I am an ass. Indeed. You may prove it by my long years. I have served him from the hour of my nativity to this very instant. I have nothing to show for his service but blows. When I'm cold, he warms me with beating. When I'm warm, he cools me with beating. I'm waked with it when I sleep, raised with it when I sit, driven out of doors with it when I go from home, welcomed home with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders like a beggar won't her brat. And I think when he hath lamed me, I shall beg with it, from door to door.
Come, go along. My wife is coming yonder.
Mistress Respis Finum, respect your end. Or rather, the prophecy like the parrot. Beware the rope's end.
Wilt thou still talk?
How say you now? Is not your husband mad?
His incivility confirms no less. Good Dr. Pinch, you are a conjurer. Establish him in his true sense again, and I will please you what you will demand.
Alas, how fiery and how sharp he looks.
Mark how he trembles in his ecstasy.
Give me your hand and let me feel your pulse.
There is my hand, and let it feel your ear.
I charge thee, Satan, housed within this man, to yield possession to my holy prayers, and to thy state of darkness, hie thee straight. I conjure thee by all the saints in heaven.
Peace, doting wizard, peace. I am not mad.
Oh, that thou wert not, poor distressed soul.
You, minion, you are these your customers? Did this companion with a saffron face revel and feasted at my house today, whilst upon me the guilty doors were shut and I denied to enter in my house?
Oh, husband, God doth know you dined at home. Where would you have remained until this time, free from these slanders and this open shame?
Dined at home? Thou, villain, what sayest thou?
Sir, sooth to say, you did not dine at home.
Were not my doors locked up and I shut out?
Purdy, your doors were locked and you shut out.
And did not she herself revile me there?
Sans fables, she herself reviled you there.
Did not her kitchen maid rail, taunt, and scorn me?
Certes she did. The kitchen vessel scorned you.
And did not I, in rage, depart from thence?
In verity, you did. My bones bear witness that have since felt the vigor of his rage.
Is't good to soothe him in these contraries?
It is no shame. The fellow finds his vein, and yielding to him, humors well his frenzy.
Thou hast suborned the goldsmith to arrest me.
Alas, I sent you money to redeem you by Dromio here, who came in haste for it.
Money by me. Heart and goodwill you might, but master, surely not a rag of money.
Went'st not thou to her for a purse of ducats?
He came to me, and I delivered it.
And I am witness with her that she did.
God in the rope maker, bear me witness. I was sent for nothing but a rope.
Mistress, both man and master is possessed. I know it by their pale and deadly looks. They must be bound and laid in some dark room.
Say, wherefore didst thou lock me forth today? And why dost thou deny the bag of gold?
I did not. Gentle husband, look thee forth.
And gentle master, I received no gold, but I must confess that we were locked out.
Dissembling villain, thou speakst false in both.
Dissembling harlot, thou art false in all, and art confederate with a damned pack to make some abject scorn of me. But with these nails, I'll pluck out these false eyes that would behold in me this shameful sport.
Oh, bind him, let him go!
The fiend is strong within him.
I mean, poor man, how pale and wan he looks.
What? Wilt thou murder me? Thou, jailer, thou, I am thy prisoner. Wilt thou suffer them to make a rescue?
Women, let him go. He is my prisoner. You shall not have him.
Go, bind this man, for he is frantic too.
What wilt thou do, thou peevish officer? Hast thou delight to see a wretched man do outrage and displeasure to himself?
He is my prisoner. If I let him go, the debt he owes will be required of me.
I will discharge thee ere I go from thee. Bear me forthwith unto his creditor, and knowing how the debt grows, I will pay it. Good mistress doctor, see him safe conveyed home to my house. A most unhappy day.
O most unhappy strumpet.
Master, I am here entered in bond for you.
Out on thee, villain! Wherefore dost thou mad me?
Be mad, good master. Will you be bound for nothing? Cry! The devil!
God help poor souls, how idly do they fall.
See them safe conveyed home to my house. Sister, go you with me. Say, now, whose suit is he arrested at?
One Angelo, a goldsmith. You know him?
I know the man. What is the sum he owes?
200 ducats.
Say, how grows it do?
Do for a chain your husband had of him.
He did bespeak a chain for me, but had it not.
When as your husband, all enraged today, came into my house and took away my ring, the ring I saw upon his fingernail, straight after did I meet him with a chain.
It may be so, but never did I see it. Come, jailer. Bring me where the goldsmith is. I long to know the truth hereof at lodge.
God, for thy mercy, they are loose again!
Oh, and come with naked swords! Let's call more help and have them bound again.
Oh, wait! Don't kill us!
I see these witches are afraid of swords.
She that would be your wife now ran from you.
Come, let us to the centaur and fetch our stuff from hence. I long that we were safe and sound aboard.
Faith, stay here this night. They will surely do us no harm. You saw, they speak us fair, give us gold. Methinks they're such a gentle nation that, but for the mad mountain of flesh that claims marriage of me, I could find it in my heart to stay here still and turn witch.
I will not stay tonight for all the town. Therefore away, to get our stuff aboard.
I am sorry, sir, that I have hindered you. But I protest, he had the chain of me, though most dishonestly he doth deny it.
Well, how is the man esteemed here in the city?
Of very reverend reputation, of credit infinite, highly beloved, second to none that lives here in the city. His word might bear my wealth at any time.
Speak softly, yonder, as I think he comes.
'Tis so, and that self-chain about his neck, which he forswore most monstrously to have. Good sir, draw near to me. I'll speak to him. Senor Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me to this shame and trouble, and not without some circumstance to yourself, of oaths, so to deny this chain which now you wear so openly. Beside the charge, the shame, the imprisonment, you have done wrong to this, my honest friend, who, but for staying on our controversy, had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had of me. Can you deny it?
I think I had. I never did deny it.
Yes, that you did, sir, and forswore it, too.
Who heard me to deny it or forswear
Well,
it?
these ears of mine, thou knowest did hear thee. Well, fie on thee, wretch. 'Tis pity thou livest to walk where any honest man resort.
Thou art a villain to impeach me thus. I'll prove mine honor and mine honesty against thee presently if thou darest stand.
I dare and do fight for a villain!
You hither? To fetch my poor distracted husband hence. Let us come in that we may bind him fast and bear him home.
I knew he was not in his perfect wits.
I am sorry now that I did draw now.
How long hath this possession held the man?
This week he hath been heavy, sour, sad, and much different from the man he was. But till this afternoon his passion ne'er break the extremity of rage.
Hath he not lost much wealth by wreck of sea? Buried some dear friend? Hath not else his eye strayed his affection in unlawful love? A sin prevailing much in youthful men who give their eyes the liberty of gazing. Which of these sorrows is he subject to?
To none of these. Except it be the last. Namely, some love that drew him oft from home.
You should for that have reprehended him.
Why, so I did.
Aye, but not rough enough.
As roughly as my modesty would let me.
Haply in private.
And in assemblies too.
Aye, but not enough.
It was the copy of our conference. At board he fed not for my urging it. In bed he slept not for my urging it. Alone it was the subject of my theme. In company I often glanced it. Still did I tell him it was vile and bad.
And thereof came it that the man was mad. Ugh. The venom clamors of a jealous woman. Poisons more deadly than a mad dog's tooth. It seems his sleeps were hindered by thy railing, and therefore comes it that his head is light. Thou sayest his meat was sauced with thy upbraidings. Unquiet meals make ill digestions. Thereof the raging fire of fever bred. And what's a fever but a fit of madness? Thou sayest his sports were hindered by thy brawls. Sweet recreation, bud.
What
what doth ensue? But moody and dull melancholy, kinsman to grim and comfortless despair, and at her heels a huge infectious troop of pale distemperatures and foes to life. Ah! In food, in sport, and life-preserving rest, to be disturbed would mad or man or beast. The consequence is then, thy jealous fits have scared thy husband from the use of wits. She never reprehended him but mildly when he demeaned himself, rough, rude, and wildly. Why bear you these rebukes and answer not?
She did betray me to my own reproof. Good people, enter and lay hold on him.
No! Not a creature enters in my house.
Then let your servants bring my husband forth.
Neither. He took this place for sanctuary, and it shall privilege him from your hands till I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labor in assaying it.
I will attend my husband, be his nurse, diet his sickness, for it is my office, and will have no other attorney but myself. Therefore, let me have him home with me.
Be patient, for I will not let him stir till I have used the approved means I have, with wholesome syrups, drugs, and holy prayers, to make of him a formal man again. It is a branch and parcel of mine oath, a charitable duty of my order. Therefore, depart, and leave him here with me.
I will not hence, and leave my husband here, and ill it doth beseem your holiness to separate the husband and the wife.
Be quiet and depart. Thou shalt not have him. Complain unto the Duke of this indignity.
Come, go. I will fall prostrate at his feet and never rise again until my tears and prayers have won his grace to come in person hither and take my husband perforce from the abbess.
By this, the dial points at 5. Anon, the Duke himself in person comes this way to the melancholy vale, this place of death and sorry execution, behind the ditches of the abbey here.
Upon what cause?
To see the Reverend Syracusian merchant who put unluckily into this bay, against the laws and statutes of the town, beheaded publicly for his defense.
See where they come. We will behold his death.
Kneel to the Duke before he pass the abbey.
Yet once again, proclaim it publicly. If any friend will pay the sum for him, he shall not die. So much we tender him.
Justice, most sacred Duke, against the abbess.
She is a virtuous and reverend lady. It cannot be that she had done thee wrong.
May it please your grace. Antipholus, my husband, whom I made lord of me and all I had at your important letters, this ill day, a most outrageous fit of madness took him, that desperately he hurried through the streets, with him his bondmen, all as mad as he, doing displeasure to the citizens by rushing in their houses and bearing men's rings, jewels, anything his rage did like. Once did I get him bound and sent home, whilst to take order for the wrongs I went, that here and there his fury had committed. Anon, I wot not by what strong escape he broke from those that had the guard of him, and with his mad attendant and himself, each one with ireful passion, with drawn swords, met us again, bit madly on us, chased us away, till, rising of more aid, we came again to bind them. Then fled into this abbey here, whither we pursued them. And here, the abbess shuts the gates on us, and will not suffer us to bring him out, nor let her servants bring him forth. Therefore, most gracious Duke, with thy command, let him be brought forth and borne hence for help.
Long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I to thee engaged a prince's word, when thou didst make him master of thy bed, to do him all grace and good I could. Go, some of you, knock at the abbey gate, and bid the lady abbess come to me. I will determine this before I stir.
Shift and save yourself! My master and his man have both broke loose, beaten the maids a row, and bound the doctor, whose beard they have singed off with brands of fire. And ever as it blazed, they threw on her great pails of puddled mire to quench the hair. My master preaches patience to her, and the while his man with scissors nicks her like a fool. And sure, unless you send some present help between them, they will kill the conjurer.
Peace, fool. Thy master and his man are here, and that is false thou dost report to us.
Mistress, upon my life, I tell you true, I have not breathed almost since I did see it. He cries for you, and vows if he can take you to scorch your face and to disfigure you. I hear it, mistress! Fly! Be gone!
Come, stand by me. Fear nothing. Guard with halberds.
Hi, me. It is my husband. Witness you. He is born about invisible. Even now we housed him in the abbey, and now he's there past the thought of human reason.
Justice! Most gracious Duke, oh, grant me justice. Even for the service that long since I did thee, when I bestrid thee in the wars, and took deep scars to save thy life. Even for the blood that then I lost for thee, now grant me justice.
Unless the fear of death doth make me dote, I see my son Antipholus, Andromio.
Justice, sweet prince, against that woman there. She whom thou gavest to me to be my wife, that hath abused and dishonored me, even in the strength and height of injury. Beyond imagination is the wrong that she this day hath shameless thrown on me.
Discover how, and thou shalt find me just.
This day, great Duke, she shut the doors upon me, while she with harlots feasted at my house.
A grievous fault. Say, woman, didst thou so?
No, my good lord. Myself, he, and my sister today did dine together. So before my soul is this false he burdens me withal.
Never may I look on day, nor sleep on night, but she tells to your highness simple truth.
O perjured woman, they are both forsworn. In this the madman justly chargeth them.
My liege, I am advised what I say, neither disturbed with the effects of wine nor heady rash, provoked with raging ire, albeit my wrongs might make one wiser mad. This woman locked me out this day from dinner. That goldsmith there, were he not packed with her, could witness it, for he was with me then, who parted with me to go fetch a chain, promising to bring it to the Porpentine where Balthazar and I did dine together. Our dinner done, and he not coming thither, I went to seek him. In the street I met him, and in his company that gentleman. There did this perjured goldsmith swear me down that I this day of him received the chain, which God he knows I saw not. For the which he did arrest me with an officer. I did obey, and sent my peasant home for certain ducats. He with none returned. Then fairly I bespoke the officer to go in person with me to my house. By the way, we met my wife, her sister, and a rabble more of vile confederates. Along with them, they brought one Pinch, a hungry, lean-faced villain, a mere anatomy, a mountebank, a threadbare juggler, and a fortune-teller. a needy, hollow-eyed, sharp-looking wretch, a dead-faced woman this pernicious slave forsooth took on her as a conjurer, and gazing in mine eyes, feeling my pulse, and with no faces to her, outfacing me, cries out I was possessed. Then all together they fell upon me, bound me, bore me thence, and in a dark and dankish vaulted home they left me and my man both bound together, till, gnawing with my teeth my bonds in sunder, I gained my freedom, and immediately ran hither to your grace, whom I beseech to give me ample satisfaction for these deep shames and great indignities.
My lord, in truth, thus far I witnessed with him that he dined not at home, but was locked out.
But had he such a chain of thee or no?
He had, my lord. And when he ran in here, these people saw the chain about his neck.
Besides, I will be sworn you had this chain of him after you first were sworn on the mart. Thereupon I drew my sword on you, and then you fled into the abbey here, from whence I think you were come by some miracle.
I never came within these abbey walls, nor ever didst thou draw thy sword on me. I never saw the chain, so help me heaven, and this is false you burden me withal.
Why, what an intricate impeach have we here. If here you housed him, here he would be. If he were mad, he would not plead so coldly. You say he dined at home. The goldsmith here denies that saying. Sirrah, what say you?
He dined with her there at the Porpentine.
He did! And from my finger snatched that ring!
'Tis true, my liege, this ring I had of her.
Sawest thou him enter at the abbey here?
Sure, my liege, as I do see your grace.
Why, this is strange. Go, call the abbess hither. I think you are all mated or stark mad.
Most mighty Duke, vouchsafe me speak a word. Haply I see a friend will save my life, and pay the sum that may deliver me.
Speak freely, Syracusian, what thou wilt.
Is not thy name, sir, called Antipholus? And is that not your bondman, Dromio?
Within this hour I was his bondman, sir, but he, I thank him, gnawed into my cords. Now am I his man and Dromio, unbound.
I am sure you, both of you, remember me.
Ourselves we do remember, sir, by you, for lately we were bound as you are now. You are not Pinch's patient, sir, are you?
Why look you strange on me? You know me well.
I never saw you in my life till now.
Oh, grief hath changed me since you saw me last, and careful hours with time's deformed hand have written strange features in my face. But tell me yet, dost thou not know my voice?
Neither.
Dromio, nor thou?
No. Trust me, sir, nor I.
I'm sure thou dost.
Aye, and I am sure that I do not, sir. And whatsoever a man denies, you are now bound to believe him.
Not know my voice. O time's extremity, hast thou so cracked and splitted my poor tongue in 7 short years, that here my only son knows not my feeble key of untuned cares? Though now this grained face of mine be hid in sap-consuming winter's drizzled snow, and all the conduits of my blood froze up, yet hath my night of life some memory, my wasting lamp some fading glimmer left. My dull deaf ears a little used to hear all these old witnesses. I cannot err. Tell me, thou art my son Antipholus.
I never saw my father in my life.
But 7 years since in Syracuse, boy, thou knowst we parted. But perhaps, my son, thou shamest to acknowledge me in misery.
The Duke and all that know me in the city can vouchsafe with me that it is not so. I ne'er saw Syracusa in my life.
I tell thee, Syracusian, 20 years have I been patron to Antipholus, during which time he ne'er saw Syracusa. I think your age and dangers make thee dote.
Most mighty Duke, behold a man much wronged.
Either I see two husbands, or mine eyes deceive me.
One of these men is genius to the other, and so of these. Which is the natural man, and which the spirit? Who deciphers them?
I, Sir Andromio, command him away.
I, Sir Andromio, pray let me stay.
Gian, art thou not? Or else his ghost?
Oh, my old master, who hath bound him here?
Whoever bound him, I will loose his bonds and gain a husband by his liberty. Speak, old Aegean. If thou beest the man that hadst a wife once called Amelia, that bore thee at a burden two fair sons, oh, if thou beest the same Aegean, speak, and speak unto the same Amelia.
If I dream not, thou art Amelia. If thou art she, tell me, where is that son that floated with thee on the fatal raft?
By men of Epidamnum, he and I and the twin Dromio all were taken up. But by and by, rude fishermen from Corinth by force took Dromio and my son from them. And me, they left with those of Epidamnum. What then became of them, I cannot tell. To this fortune you see me in.
Why, here begins his morning story right. These two Antiphaluses, these two so like, and these two Dromios, one in semblance. Besides her urging of a wreck at sea, these are the parents to these children which are accidentally met here together. Antiphalus, you came from Corinth first.
No, sir, not I. I came from Syracuse.
Stand apart. I know not which is which.
I came from Corinth, my most gracious lord.
And I with him.
Brought to this town by that most famous warrior, Duke Menaphon, your most renowned uncle.
Which of you two did dine with me today?
I, gentle mistress.
And are you not my husband?
No, I say nay to that.
And so do I. Yet did she call me so?
And this fair gentlewoman, her sister here, did call me brother. What I told you then, I hope I shall have leisure to make good. If this be not a dream I see and hear.
That is the chain, sir, that you had of me.
I think I had, sir. I deny it not.
And you, sir, for this chain arrested me.
I think I did, sir. I deny it not.
Alas, I sent you money to be your bail by Dromio, but I think he brought it not.
No, none by me.
This purse of ducats I received from you, and Dromio, my man, did bring them me. I see that we did meet each other's man, and I was taken for him, and he for me. And thereupon these errors are arose.
These ducats pawn I for my father here.
It shall not need. Thy father hath his life.
Sir, I must have that diamond from you.
There, take it, and much thanks for my good cheer.
Renowned Duke, vouchsafe to take the pains to go with us into the abbey here, and here at large discoursed all our fortunes, and all that are assembled in this place, that by this sympathized one day's error have suffered wrong. Go, keep us company, and we shall make full satisfaction. 33 years have I but gone in travail of you, my sons. Until this present hour, my heavy burden ne'er delivered. The Duke, my husband, and my children both, and you, the calendars of their nativity, go to a gossip's feast, and go with me, after so long grief. Such festivity!
With all my heart, I'll gossip at this feast.
I told you.
Master, shall I fetch your stuff from shipboard?
Dromio, what stuff of mine hast thou embarked?
Your goods that lay at host, sir, in the Centaur.
He speaks to me. I am your master, Dromio. Come, go with us. We'll look to that anon. Embrace thy brother there. Rejoice with him.
There is a fat friend at your master's house who kitchened me for you today at dinner. She now shall be my sister, not my wife.
Methinks you are my glass, and not my brother. I see by you I am a sweet-faced youth. Will you walk in to see the gossiping?
Not I, sir. You are my elder.
That's a question. How shall we try it?
We'll draw cuts for the senior. Till then, lead thou first.
Nay, then thus. We came into this world like brother and brother. Let us go hand in hand, not one before another.
That's where she goes to. Always so debonair.